No vision, no discipline. I want you to hear that slowly. No vision, no discipline. Say it in your spirit until it begins to disturb the excuses you have been using. No vision, no discipline. Because many of you have been trying to fix a discipline problem that is not really a discipline problem. It is a vision problem. Please lean in now. Take notes. I am going to move quickly, but I do not want you to miss this. If you are watching this and you only want God to make you feel better about the same cycle, this teaching will trouble you. But if you are ready for God to correct the picture of your future, not just your behavior, then stay with me. Subscribe only if you are ready to be challenged into your real assignment. Because God is not interested in decorating your dysfunction. He wants to give you a future clear enough to discipline your present. You know the cycle. You start strong. January comes, you are strong. Monday morning comes, you are strong. After the conference, after the prayer meeting, after the emotional worship service, you are strong. You make declarations. You delete numbers. You throw things away. You tell everybody this time is different. And for a few days, sometimes a few weeks, you look different. Then slowly, quietly, without an announcement, you drift back. You stop waking up. You stop reading. You stop building. You stop resisting. You stop showing up. Then you feel guilty. You repent emotionally. You cry sincerely. You promise God intensely. Then you return to the same pattern because the future is still undefined. Write this down. Emotion can start a thing, but emotion cannot sustain a thing. Guilt can shake you, but guilt cannot shape you. Pressure can push you, but pressure cannot govern you. Public accountability can watch you, but it cannot transform the picture inside you. Discipline is not sustained by pressure. Discipline is not sustained by guilt. Discipline is not sustained by shame. Discipline is not sustained by hype. Discipline is sustained by a future you can see internally. This is why you do not keep failing because you are weak. You keep failing because your future is not clear enough to command your present. If tomorrow is vague, today becomes negotiable. If destiny is blurry, appetite becomes powerful. If purpose is uncertain, distraction becomes attractive. But when God gives a man or a woman a picture of where they are going, suddenly they can say no and not feel poor. They can walk away and not feel deprived. They can endure loneliness and not feel abandoned. Why? Because vision has made the future more real than the temptation. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. But that word perish does not simply mean they fall down dead. It carries the idea that they cast off restraint. In other words, when there is no vision, people lose boundaries. They lose order. They lose self-control. They become exposed. They become undisciplined. They begin living by whatever they feel, whatever they see, whatever calls their name, whatever offers temporary comfort. No vision, no restraint. No restraint, no order. No order, no discipline. No discipline, no destiny manifested. So the problem is not first that you love sin too much. The problem may be that you have not seen your future enough. The problem is not first that you are lazy. The problem may be that your soul has no compelling picture of tomorrow strong enough to make today obey. Vision is the power that tells your body you cannot have everything you want. Vision is the power that tells your mouth you cannot say everything you feel. Vision is the power that tells your calendar you cannot go everywhere people invite you. Vision is the power that tells your friendships you cannot walk with everyone and still arrive at what God showed you. Before we go deeper, I want you to make an agreement, not with me, with God. Put it in the comments. I received God's vision for my life. Write it as an act of alignment. Write it as a declaration that you are tired of correcting behavior while leaving the future undefined. Write it, because today God is not just coming after your habits, He is coming after your picture. And when the picture becomes clear, discipline will finally have a reason. Now, what is vision? Write this down. Vision is the internal image of God's original purpose coming into view in the heart of a person. Let me say it again because I wanted to get past your ears. Vision is the internal image of God's original purpose coming into view in the heart of a person. Vision is not a dream you borrowed from television. Vision is not ambition you copied from culture. Vision is not pressure you inherited from your parents. Vision is not you trying to prove something to people who doubted you. Vision is the future God hid inside you before your mother ever held you. There is natural sight, and then there is heart vision. Natural sight shows you what is around you. Heart vision shows you what is within you. Natural sight looks through the eyes. Heart vision looks through purpose. Natural sight says, this is where I am. Heart vision says, this is why I was born. Natural sight can show you your bills, your job, your family, your limitations, your neighborhood, your present condition. But heart vision shows you the original intent of God that your present condition has not yet caught up with. This is why two people can be in the same environment and not see the same thing. One person sees poverty and says, this is all there is. Another person sees poverty and says, I was born to build systems that break this. One person sees a classroom and says, I need a salary. Another person sees a classroom and says, I was born to shape minds. One person sees a business and says, I can make money. Another person sees a business and says, I can solve a problem for my generation. What is the difference? Not the eyes. The eyes may be seeing the same thing. The difference is vision in the heart. Please hear me carefully. Real vision does not begin with competition. If your vision is only to beat somebody, it is too small. If your vision is only to be richer than your cousin, it is too small. If your vision is only to show your ex that they made a mistake, it is too small. If your vision is only to make people clap for you, it is too small. Vision is not revenge dressed up as destiny. Vision is not ego with religious language. Vision is not a social media image with scripture under it. Vision is God allowing you to see a piece of the future that matches the purpose He placed in you. Purpose is the reason for your existence. Vision is the preview of that purpose fulfilled. Purpose answers, why am I here? Vision answers, what does it look like when I become what God intended? Purpose is the root. Vision is the fruit you can see before the tree is fully grown. Purpose is the seed. Vision is the picture on the packet. God gives you an image of the harvest so you will not dig up the seed during the season when nothing seems to be happening. That is why you cannot manufacture true vision. You can manufacture a plan. You can manufacture an image. You can manufacture a brand. You can manufacture attention. But you cannot manufacture divine vision. Divine vision is revealed. It is not invented to impress people. It is revealed from the purpose God already placed inside you. Before you were formed, God knew you. Before you were noticed, God assigned you. Before people approved you, God designed you. So your future is not first in front of you. Your future is first inside you. This is why Ephesians 3:20 is so powerful. It says, God is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think according to the power that works in us, not merely according to the power around us, not merely according to the opportunities people give us, not merely according to the economy, the family name, the school, the country, the connections, according to the power that works in us. That means God's future for you is connected to something already operating within you. The future is not merely ahead of you waiting to be discovered. The future is deposited in you waiting to be developed. You must understand this. God does not show you what is possible because He is guessing. God shows you what is possible because He remembers why He made you. Vision is foresight with insight based on divine hindsight. That is a heavy statement. Write it down. Vision is foresight with insight based on divine hindsight. Foresight means you can see ahead. Insight means you can see within. Divine hindsight means God is not trying to figure out your future. He is revealing what He already intended when He created you. He begins with the end, then He backs up and starts you in time. So when God gives you vision, He is not experimenting with your life. He is letting you see the end He had in mind from the beginning. That is why vision should be out of reach, but never out of sight. If it is from God, it will stretch you. It will be bigger than your current strength, bigger than your current resources, bigger than your current circle, bigger than your current discipline. But it will not be foreign to your spirit. Something inside you will say, that is why I am here. Something inside you will recognize it. You may be afraid of it, but you will recognize it. You may not know how to do it, but you will recognize it. You may not have the money, the team, or the training yet, but deep inside, there will be a witness that says, this is mine to become. And once vision becomes clear, discipline stops being punishment and becomes protection. You are no longer just denying yourself because somebody told you to behave. You are protecting a future God revealed. You are protecting purpose. You are protecting assignment. You are protecting the picture in your heart. When you understand what is inside you, you stop treating restraint like a prison and start seeing it as a fence around destiny. Vision gives discipline meaning. Vision gives sacrifice dignity. Vision gives obedience direction. And when God's picture becomes clear in your heart, your life begins to gather around it. Now, let us go back to Proverbs 29:18, because this is where the Holy Spirit diagnoses the sickness. Where there is no vision, the people perish. We quote it, but many times we do not understand it. We use it at banquets. We use it at leadership meetings. We put it on posters. But the scripture is not talking first about decoration. It is talking about disintegration. Where there is no vision, the people perish. That word perish carries the idea of people casting off restraint. In other words, when the picture disappears, the boundaries disappear. When the future is not clear, the present becomes wild. When there is no divine picture governing the heart, the appetites of the body begin to vote on every decision. Please write this down. Restraint is not weakness. Restraint is power under purpose. Restraint is the power to say no when yes would be easier. Restraint is the wisdom to wait when your feelings want it now. Restraint is the courage to focus when everything around you is demanding attention. Restraint is the maturity to refuse distraction even when the distraction is attractive, available, and applauded by people who do not know where you are going. That is restraint. It is not fear. It is not bondage. It is not being boring. Restraint is the proof that something in your future has become more important than something in your present. This is why no vision is dangerous. No vision does not simply make a person sad. No vision makes a person scattered. Scattered money, scattered time, scattered relationships, scattered energy, scattered decisions, scattered conversations, scattered commitments. You spend because there is no picture commanding your resources. You waste time because there is no future demanding your schedule. You entertain every relationship because you have not decided what kind of person can walk with your assignment. You start 10 things and finish none because you have desire without vision. You say yes to everything because you have not seen clearly enough to know what deserves a no. And some of you keep calling yourself undisciplined, but the real problem is that you are unconvinced. You are not convinced enough about your assignment. You are not convinced enough about why you are here. You are not convinced enough about what God showed you in the secret place. Because when a man is convinced, you do not have to beg him to focus. When a woman is convinced, you do not have to chase her to be serious. Conviction produces concentration. Vision produces order. Purpose produces restraint. If I know I am carrying something from God, I cannot live casually. If I know my life is a sign, I cannot let every appetite become my master. There is a difference between desire and vision. Desire wants pleasure now. Vision demands alignment with destiny. Desire says, I feel like it. Vision says, is it in line with where I am going? Desire says, I deserve this. Vision says, will this serve what God revealed? Desire says, everybody else is doing it. Vision says, everybody else is not responsible for my assignment. Desire is loud, but vision is authoritative. Desire is emotional, but vision is governmental. Desire is temporary, but vision is generational. If you live by desire, you will always need another apology. If you live by vision, you will begin to build a life that does not require constant repair. When the future is vague, appetite becomes loud. When vision is clear, appetite becomes negotiable. When the future is vague, temptation looks like opportunity. When vision is clear, temptation looks like interruption. When the future is vague, people can pull you anywhere. When vision is clear, even good invitations must pass through purpose. When the future is vague, you buy what you cannot afford, say what you should not say, go where you should not go, and give yourself to things that cannot carry you into destiny. But when vision is clear, you begin to ask one question: does this protect what God showed me? That is why without vision, restraint feels like loss. You say, why can't I have that? Why can't I go there? Why can't I be with them? Why can't I spend this? Why can't I relax like everybody else? Restraint feels like punishment when the future is unclear. But with vision, restraint feels like loyalty. Loyalty to the future, loyalty to purpose, loyalty to the assignment, loyalty to the people you have not met yet who are depending on you to become who God called you to be. Vision changes the meaning of no. No is no longer rejection. No becomes protection. No becomes preservation. No becomes worship. No becomes agreement with God concerning the future He placed in you. This is the revelation. Hold on. Discipline does not create vision first. Vision creates the reason discipline can survive. You can force yourself for a season. You can pressure yourself for a week. You can shame yourself into a few days of change. But discipline that survives must have a picture behind it. It must see something. It must be serving something. It must be loyal to something. So stop asking God only for more willpower. Ask Him for clearer vision. Because when the picture becomes clear, your restraint will stop feeling like deprivation and start feeling like devotion. And once restraint becomes devotion, your life is ready to become focused. Now here is where vision becomes dangerous to distraction. Vision imprisons you. Write that down. Vision imprisons you. Now that sounds negative because when we hear prison, we think bondage. We think limitation. We think somebody has taken away our freedom. But I came to tell you that the right prison is the birthplace of freedom. Vision imprisons you into purpose. Vision locks you away from confusion. Vision confines you to assignment until your life becomes simple enough to be powerful. Most people are too free to become great. They are free to go anywhere, free to answer everybody, free to try everything, free to chase every opportunity, free to change direction every time emotion changes. And because they are free without vision, they are scattered. But when God gives you vision, He places a holy restriction on your life. You can no longer do everything. You can no longer go everywhere. You can no longer be available to every voice. You can no longer give your energy to every invitation. Vision arrests you. Vision says you belong to something. Vision says you are assigned. Vision says your future has rights over your present. Please hear this carefully. Vision does not make life complicated. Vision makes life what? Simple. Say it again. Simple. Vision makes life simple because it gives every decision one question: is this in line with the future God revealed? That is all. Not is it popular. Not is it exciting. Not will they understand. Not will it make me look important. Not is everybody else doing it. The question is, does this serve the future God showed me? This is why vision narrows your options. And some of you do not like that because you still think options are the same as freedom. Options without purpose produce confusion. Too many options without vision create exhaustion. You can spend your whole life choosing between things that do not matter because you never settle the thing that does. But when vision comes, your choices are judged by assignment. You do not need to pray for 3 months over what God already told you is irrelevant. You do not need to fast about something that clearly pulls you away from the picture. You do not need another sign when the thing is taxing your destiny. And let me say something that may trouble you. Many people are not destroyed by bad things. They are delayed by good things. Bad things are easy to identify. Sin is easy to identify when your spirit is alive. Destruction is easy to identify. But good things can be dangerous because they look innocent. A good relationship can delay you if it is unrelated to your assignment. A good opportunity can distract you if it demands energy that belongs to your purpose. A good event, a good trip, a good hobby, A good conversation, even a good ministry activity, can become wrong for you if it is not in line with the vision God gave you. Vision protects you from doing good things that are not right things. That is maturity. Immaturity only asks, is this bad? Maturity asks, is this mine? Immaturity asks, can I do it? Maturity asks, was I assigned to it? Immaturity asks, will people like it? Maturity asks, will God find me faithful in the thing He showed me? Every open door is not your door. Every need is not your assignment. Every invitation is not an instruction. Every compliment is not confirmation. Some doors are distractions with hinges. Some opportunities are tests wearing beautiful clothes. So you need a filter. Write this down. Is this in line with my vision? Ask it about your friendships. Is this relationship in line with my vision? Or does this person only know how to entertain the version of me God is trying to deliver me from? Ask it about your entertainment. Is this feeding my spirit or dulling my discernment? Ask it about your money. Is this purchase helping me build what God showed me? Or am I spending tomorrow's resources on today's appetite? Ask it about your habits. Is this routine preparing me or weakening me? Ask it about your sleep. Am I resting to serve purpose or am I escaping responsibility? Ask it about your study. What must I learn for the future God revealed? Ask it about your commitments. Did God assign me to this or did guilt volunteer me? This is how discipline is born. Discipline is not hatred of pleasure. Please understand that. God is not against joy. God is not against rest. God is not against celebration. Discipline is not you becoming miserable to prove you are spiritual. Discipline is refusing anything that taxes the future God showed you. Discipline is saying, I cannot afford that, not only financially, but spiritually. I cannot afford that emotionally. I cannot afford that mentally. I cannot afford that relationally. I cannot afford that habit because it charges interest against my destiny. Some things are too expensive, even if they are free. That conversation may be free, but it costs your focus. That relationship may be available, but it costs your peace. That entertainment may be normal, but it costs your appetite for God. That extra hour of laziness may feel pleasant, but it costs your preparation. Vision makes you calculate differently. Vision gives you spiritual mathematics. You stop asking only, what will this give me now? You start asking, what will this cost the future? Now I want you to take out paper if you are serious. Do not just listen, write. Because an unwritten life will be edited by distractions. Ask yourself 5 questions. Number 1, what must I stop? Not what do I feel like stopping. What must I stop because it is draining the future? Number 2, what must I start? What practice, what study, what prayer, what discipline, what relationship with wisdom must begin now? Number 3, what must I simplify? Some of you are not sinful, you are crowded. Your life has too many moving parts with no governing picture. Number 4, what must I protect? Protect your mornings, protect your mind, protect your prayer, protect your body, protect your assignment, protect the quiet place where vision speaks. Number 5, who must I stop explaining myself to? Because some people do not want understanding, they want access. And if you keep explaining a God-given restriction to someone who benefits from your lack of boundaries, you will talk yourself out of obedience. You must become comfortable being misunderstood by people who did not receive your vision. God did not show everybody what He showed you. When Noah built, everybody did not understand. When Joseph dreamed, his brothers did not celebrate. When Mary carried Jesus, everybody did not have an explanation. When you carry vision, you cannot spend your strength trying to make blind people approve what only faith can see. Be respectful, be humble, but be governed. Vision imprisons you until your life becomes simple. And simple does not mean small. Do not confuse simplicity with insignificance. A simplified life is a focused life. A focused life is a powerful life. A powerful life is a prepared life. When your yes becomes clear and your no becomes holy, your energy gathers, your time gathers, your money gathers, your learning gathers, your relationships gather. Everything begins to serve one God-given future. So do not be afraid when vision starts reducing your options. Do not panic when you cannot enjoy what you used to enjoy. Do not apologize when your life becomes quieter, cleaner, and more intentional. That is not loss. That is alignment. God is not making your life smaller. He is making your life sharp. Because a simplified life is not a lesser life. It is a life prepared for mastery. And you were not born to chase everything. You were born to master something. Now listen carefully. You were not born to chase everything. You were born to master something. That is why vision must simplify you before it can multiply you. God never created you for random activity. He created you for dominion. And dominion does not mean running around trying to touch everything. Dominion means mastering the field He assigned to you. In Genesis, when God created man, He said, let them have dominion. That word means rulership, government, mastery, management. God did not say, let them be busy. He did not say, let them be popular. He did not say, let them be everywhere. He said, let them have dominion. In other words, let them become responsible, competent, fruitful, and trusted in the area I placed under their care. Dominion is not noise. Dominion is mastery. Dominion is not activity. Dominion is authority produced by alignment. Write this down. Mastery requires concentration. Concentration requires vision. If you do not know your field, you will waste your seed. A farmer who does not know his field will throw seed everywhere and call it faith. But a wise farmer studies the land. He knows what belongs where. He knows the season. He knows the soil. He knows what to water and what to leave alone. That is why vision is so important. Vision shows you the field God assigned to you. And once you know the field, discipline becomes intelligent. You stop scattering seed into places God never commanded you to cultivate. Some of you have many gifts, but no government. You can sing, speak, build, design, organize, counsel, study, write, sell, lead, create. That is wonderful. But talent without vision becomes noise. Talent without assignment becomes performance. Talent without discipline becomes confusion with applause. You can be gifted and still be ineffective because your gift has not submitted to a governing purpose. Do not be a collector of interest with no assignment. Do not spend your life sampling everything and mastering nothing. The world is not waiting for another scattered gifted person. The world is waiting for a person who has become valuable because they stayed with one God-given assignment long enough to be trusted in it. This is why busyness is a dangerous deception. Busyness proves motion, but effectiveness proves alignment. You can be busy and still be disobedient. You can be busy and still be distracted. You can have meetings, calls, projects, messages, plans, trips, posts, and still not be building what God showed you. Life is not measured by how much movement you produce. Life is measured by how much purpose your movement serves. A ceiling fan moves all day and goes nowhere. Do not confuse spinning with progressing. Effectiveness asks a deeper question. Did this day serve the vision? Did this conversation serve the vision? Did this study serve the vision? Did this relationship serve the vision? Did this decision make me more prepared for the assignment God placed in me? That is how a disciplined person thinks. They are not trying to impress people with how full their schedule is. They are trying to become valuable in the assignment God gave them. The purpose of discipline is not to make you impressive. Please hear me. Discipline is not for showing people how serious you are. Discipline is not for spiritual posing. Discipline is not so people can admire your routine. Discipline is to make you valuable. Valuable to God's purpose. Valuable to your generation. Valuable to the people your vision is meant to serve. When a man disciplines his mind, his words, his body, his money, his time, his appetites, he is not just becoming strict. He is becoming useful. That is why vision must govern every area. If you are a man, your manhood must come under vision. Do not just be male, be assigned. Let vision govern your strength, your emotions, your sexuality, your decisions, your work, your words. If you are a father, your fatherhood must come under vision. Your children do not only need your money, they need your picture. They need to see a disciplined life governed by God. If you are in business, your business must come under vision. Do not just chase profit. Solve a problem. Serve people. Build with integrity. Become trusted. If you are in ministry, your ministry must come under vision. Do not chase platforms. Feed the people God assigned to you. If you are creative, your creativity must come under vision. Do not create only for attention. Create with purpose, with excellence, with responsibility. If you are a student, your study must come under vision. Do not study only to pass. Study to prepare. If you are building character, even your private life must come under vision, because what you tolerate in secret will eventually tax what God wants to release in public. Tell your neighbor, master something. Say it again, master something. Not everything, something. Become known in heaven and trusted on earth for something God assigned to your life. Stop envying people who are assigned to another field. Stop copying people who are carrying another vision. If God called you to teach, master teaching. If God called you to build, master building. If God called you to heal systems, master systems. If God called you to raise children, master the home. If God called you to lead, master yourself first, because no man has authority over others until he has submitted his own life to purpose. And do not despise the narrow place. The narrow place is where mastery is formed. Repetition is not punishment. Repetition is training. Consistency is not boring. Consistency is how trust is built. You become valuable when you keep showing up in the same God-given direction until wisdom, skill, character, and authority begin to gather in you. That is dominion. That is mastery. That is purpose under discipline. So reduction is not loss. Reduction is alignment. God is not taking your life away from you. He is gathering your life into the thing He created you to master. But I must warn you now, because when you become serious about vision, you must also become serious about the testing of vision. Every true vision will be tested for authenticity. And the test does not come to destroy the vision. The test comes to prove whether the vision has become stronger than your need for comfort. Every true vision will be tested for authenticity. Please write that down. Every true vision will be tested for authenticity. If it came from God, it will attract resistance, because the future it carries threatens the comfort of the present. The present does not like to be disturbed. Your old habits do not celebrate your new assignment. Your old friends may not understand your new boundaries. Your old appetites do not surrender just because you saw something in prayer. When God shows you a future, everything in your present that profits from your confusion will begin to protest. So do not think resistance always means you miss God. Sometimes resistance is the first evidence that you heard Him. We have taught people that if God is in it, it will be easy. That is not Bible. If ease were the proof of divine vision, then Joseph missed God, Moses missed God, Paul missed God, and Jesus missed God. No. A test does not cancel vision. A test reveals whether the vision has become stronger than your need for comfort. Say that with me. A test does not cancel vision, it reveals vision. Some of you abandoned vision too quickly because you thought excitement was confirmation. Excitement is good, but excitement is not enough. Anybody can be excited at conception. Anybody can shout when the dream is new. Anybody can tell everybody, God showed me something. But vision does not only need conception. Vision must pass through isolation. Vision must pass through preparation. Vision must pass through contradiction. Vision must pass through refinement. And then in God's timing, vision comes into manifestation. Let me explain this. The first phase is conception. That is when God hides the future inside your spirit. You see something nobody else can see. You feel a burden nobody else can explain. You carry a picture that does not match your present condition. Then comes isolation. God separates you from noise because vision needs a womb. Every seed needs darkness before it sees daylight. Do not curse the lonely season. Sometimes God is protecting the vision from people who would speak over it too early. Then comes preparation. This is where discipline is formed. You learn, you serve, you submit, you practice, you correct your habits. You become the kind of person the vision requires. Then comes contradiction. This is the dangerous phase. Contradiction is when everything around you looks opposite to what God showed you. God shows Joseph rulership, then Joseph gets a pit. God shows Joseph's influence, then Joseph gets slavery. God shows Joseph authority, then Joseph gets prison. Now, if Joseph judged the vision by the first season, he would have thrown away his future in the pit. But the pit was not the cancellation of the dream. The pit was part of the process that made the dreamer disciplined enough for the throne. Tell your neighbor, do not judge your vision by the pit. Say it again. Do not judge your vision by the pit. Some of you are in a season that looks like contradiction, and you are tempted to say, maybe God did not speak. No, maybe God is training you. Maybe God is removing pride. Maybe God is teaching you administration. Maybe God is refining your motives. Maybe God is building patience, because if he gives you the throne before he builds the character, the throne will destroy you. Moses had a mandate before he had a nation. He knew there was something in him connected to deliverance, but his first attempt produced exile. 40 years in the backside of the desert. 40 years away from Egypt. 40 years learning sheep before he could lead people. Do you know why? Because people behave like sheep. God was preparing the man before he released the mission. Do not despise preparation because it does not look public. Private preparation is not wasted time. It is divine investment. And Jesus carried redemption before he carried the cross. Before there was Calvary, there was identity. Before there was resurrection, there was obedience. Before there was public ministry, there was wilderness. Even Jesus was tested. The Spirit led him into the wilderness, and the devil tempted him there. Now watch this. Being in the wilderness did not mean he was outside the will of God. The Bible says the Spirit led him there. That means you can be in a hard place and still be in the will of God. You can be uncomfortable and still be assigned. You can be opposed and still be chosen. You can be delayed and still be on schedule with heaven. This is why you must stop worshiping comfort. Comfort is a poor judge of destiny. Comfort will tell you to quit when correction comes. Comfort will tell you to run when misunderstanding comes. Comfort will tell you to compromise when sacrifice is required. Comfort will tell you, this is too hard, this is taking too long, nobody understands you, nobody appreciates you, go back to what is easy. But vision says, I cannot go back. I saw something, I heard something, I am carrying something. Vision must survive delay. Vision must survive misunderstanding. Vision must survive inconvenience. Vision must survive correction. Vision must survive sacrifice. If your vision disappears, every time you are inconvenienced, it was not yet governing you. If your discipline collapses, every time people misunderstand you, your need for approval is still stronger than your picture of the future. If correction offends you so deeply that you abandon the assignment, then God is showing you that your character still needs refinement. Refinement is not rejection. Refinement is proof of value. You do not refine dirt, you refine gold. You do not prune dead branches, you prune living ones so they can bear more fruit. So when God begins to correct your attitude, your habits, your relationships, your timing, your language, your appetite, do not run. He is not destroying you. He is making you fit for the future. He showed you. Say this out loud. I will not throw away my future because of a temporary test. Say it again. I will not throw away my future because of a temporary test. One more time. Like you believe it. I will not throw away my future because of a temporary test. Difficulty may be the classroom where discipline is formed. The hard season teaches you what applause cannot teach you. Delay teaches you patience. Misunderstanding teaches you focus. Inconvenience teaches you sacrifice. Correction teaches you humility. Opposition teaches you endurance. And endurance is the proof that vision has moved from your emotions into your convictions. So do not abandon the vision because the first season is difficult. The first season is often the breaking season, the hidden season, the humbling season, the training season. But if God gave the vision, He is not only committed to the destination, He is committed to developing the person who can carry it. And now you must understand something very practical. If vision is going to survive pressure, it cannot remain only in your feelings. It must be written. Because what is not written becomes negotiable under pressure, appetite, and distraction. Now the question is very practical. What do I do with what God showed me? Because many people have revelation, but they have no system. They have inspiration, but they have no structure. They have tears, but they have no paper. They have goosebumps, but they have no calendar. And anything God reveals to you that you refuse to organize will eventually be attacked by disorder. Write this down. A vision you refuse to write will eventually be rewritten by pressure, appetite, and distraction. Say that again. A vision you refuse to write will be rewritten, not erased first. Rewritten. Pressure will edit it. Appetite will edit it. People will edit it. Fear will edit it. Emergency will edit it. Opportunity will edit it. And one day you will wake up living a life you never chose because you did not make plain the future God revealed. That is why Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2 is so important. God said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. Now notice the order. He did not say run first. He said write first. Many people are running with an unwritten vision, and that is why they are tired. They are moving, but they are not clear. They are busy, but they are not governed. They are sincere, but sincerity without clarity produces exhaustion. God said, write it, make it plain. Then movement becomes possible. Please hear the language. Make it plain, not mystical, not vague, not emotional, not religious in a way that sounds deep but cannot be practiced. Some people write, I just want to be used by God. That is beautiful, but it is not plain. Used how? Serving whom? Solving what? Becoming what? Refusing what? Building what? Learning what? Sacrificing what? You cannot discipline a vague sentence. You cannot build a calendar around a fog. You cannot assign money to confusion. You cannot evaluate relationships by a feeling that changes every week. Vision must be plain enough to correct you. If it cannot correct your calendar, it is not plain enough. If it cannot correct your budget, it is not plain enough. If it cannot correct your relationships, it is not plain enough. If it cannot correct your habits, it is not plain enough. A written vision becomes a judge. It sits over your life and says, that belongs, that does not belong. This prepares you, that weakens you, this is aligned, that is emotional. That is why some people do not write it. They want the comfort of inspiration without the accountability of instruction. Take out paper. I am not joking. If you are serious about your future, you must become serious with a pen. God told Habakkuk to write. That means writing is spiritual. Planning is not unbelief. Order is not lack of faith. A calendar can become an altar when it is submitted to purpose. A budget can become worship when it is governed by vision. A habit can become obedience when it proves you believe what God showed you. Now write these 5 questions. Number 1, what has God placed in me? Not what am I jealous of in another person, not what is trending, not what makes people clap. What has God placed in me? What burden keeps returning? What gift keeps speaking? What problem bothers me with unusual weight? What future do I see even when my present disagrees? Number 2, who am I called to serve? Vision is never only for self-display. God does not give vision so you can become impressive. He gives vision so somebody can be delivered, taught, built, healed, organized, led, fed, restored, protected, or blessed. Who are the people connected to your assignment? Children, families, entrepreneurs, students, nations, the poor, leaders, the broken, the confused, the marketplace, the church. Write it plainly. Number 3, what problem am I assigned to solve? Your value is hidden in the problem you were created to answer. Do not seek success. Seek to become valuable. If you solve no problem, your gift becomes decoration. If you solve a real problem, your gift becomes service. What disorder are you called to bring order to? What ignorance are you called to bring understanding to? What pain are you called to bring healing to? What system are you called to improve? Number 4, what must I become? This is where discipline enters. Do not only write what you want to do, write the person you must become to carry it. more patient, more skilled, more pure, more consistent, more courageous, more financially disciplined, more emotionally governed, more prayerful, more studied, more submitted. Vision always demands a version of you that your current habits may not yet support. Number 5, what must I refuse? Every vision has enemies. Some enemies are not demons. Some enemies are habits. Some enemies are conversations. Some enemies are appetites. Some enemies are relationships that keep giving permission to your old self. You must write what you will refuse. I refuse distraction. I refuse bitterness. I refuse laziness. I refuse relationships that require me to shrink my obedience. I refuse spending that robs my assignment. I refuse entertainment that dulls my spirit. I refuse to be everywhere when God called me somewhere. When the vision is written, prayer becomes targeted. You stop praying general prayers over a specific assignment. Study becomes strategic. You stop reading only what entertains you and begin learning what prepares you. Money becomes assigned. You stop spending like a person with no future and begin investing like someone carrying responsibility. Time becomes protected. You stop letting everybody rent space in your day for free. Relationships become evaluated. Not hated, evaluated. Does this relationship strengthen the future God revealed, or does it keep feeding the weakness God is trying to deliver me from? Now I want to challenge you for the next 90 days. 90 days. Not forever. 90 days of proof. Create a discipline plan from your written vision. Choose 3 habits that prove you believe the future God revealed. Not 10. 3. If you choose too many, you will admire the list and fail the life. Choose 3 habits. Maybe 30 minutes of prayer every morning. Maybe 1 hour of study in your field every day. Maybe saving a fixed amount of money every week. Maybe walking away from a relationship that keeps confusing your obedience. Maybe writing every night. Maybe training your body. Maybe sleeping on time, because tired people make weak decisions. For 90 days, let your habits read your vision. That is the point. Write the future until your habits can read it. Write it so plainly that your morning knows what to do. Write it so plainly that your money knows where to go. Write it so plainly that your appetite knows what is illegal. Write it so plainly that your friendships know the boundary. Write it so plainly that when temptation comes, your paper preaches back to your feelings. Tell your neighbor, write it down. Say it again, write it down. Because if you do not write it, life will write something else. If you do not make it plain, pressure will make it complicated. If you do not govern your habits by vision, your habits will govern your future by appetite. And remember, the goal is not private improvement only. God is not just trying to make you a more organized individual. He is preparing you to carry influence. He is preparing you to serve people. He is preparing you to become dependable under responsibility. Because when your private life comes under vision, your public life becomes trustworthy. Your discipline is not only about you. It is preparation for the people your vision is meant to bless. Your private discipline becomes public leadership. Please write that down. Your private discipline becomes public leadership. God does not begin leadership with a microphone. He begins leadership with government. He begins with whether you can govern your own appetite, your own time, your own money, your own emotions, your own words, your own body, your own secret life. Because leadership is not first what people see. Leadership is first what is ruling inside you. This is why vision begins in an individual, but it never ends with the individual. God gives vision to a person, but He gives it for a people. God gave Moses a vision, but Israel was the beneficiary. God gave Joseph dreams, but nations survived because he endured the process. God gave Paul a commission, but cities, churches, and generations were instructed through his obedience. God gave Jesus the vision of redemption, but the whole world became the object of his sacrifice. So when God gives you a picture of your future, do not reduce it to personal ambition. It may begin in your heart, but it is designed to serve beyond your house. That is why your discipline is not selfish. Some people will misunderstand you when you begin to order your life. They will say, you are changing. Yes, that is the point. They will say, you do not come around like you used to. Yes, Because I am not governed by the same confusion I used to be governed by. They will say, you think you are better than us. No, I think I am responsible for something I cannot afford to destroy. Discipline is not arrogance. Discipline is stewardship. Discipline says, I am carrying something bigger than my mood. If God is preparing you to serve a family, then your private discipline matters. If God is preparing you to build a business, then your private discipline matters. If God is preparing you to lead in ministry, then your private discipline matters. If God is preparing you to influence a community, then your private discipline matters. If God is preparing you to touch a nation, then your private discipline matters. You cannot separate the weight of public responsibility from the order of private life. The stage only reveals what the secret place has been producing. Leadership is the visible fruit of invisible government. Say that with me. Leadership is visible fruit, but government is invisible root. A tree does not begin with fruit. A tree begins with roots. And if the roots are weak, the fruit cannot be trusted. That is why God works underground before He works above ground. He works in your motives. He works in your habits. He works in your patience. He works in your character. He works in your willingness to be corrected. He works in your ability to say no when nobody is clapping for you. People may admire your gift, but they cannot trust your gift if your life has no order. Please hear me. A gift can attract people, but order keeps them safe. A gift can open a door, but character determines whether you damage the room. A gift can make people listen, but discipline makes your life reliable. Disorder makes destiny unreliable. If your time is disorderly, people cannot depend on you. If your money is disorderly, opportunity becomes dangerous. If your emotions are disorderly, relationships become exhausted. If your appetite is disorderly, your future becomes negotiable. And God will not place the weight of many people on a life that refuses government. This is why vision changes your relationships. When vision becomes clear, you stop needing everybody to understand you. You stop needing everybody to approve you. You stop needing everybody to entertain you. You stop needing everybody to rescue you from the consequences of your own disorder. Vision matures you. Vision teaches you how to be alone without being lonely. Vision teaches you how to be misunderstood without becoming bitter. Vision teaches you how to love people without letting them govern your assignment. Tell your neighbor, I do not need everybody to understand. Say it again. I do not need everybody to understand. Because if you need constant approval, you will never obey vision. Approval is too unstable to govern destiny. One day they will clap. The next day they will criticize. One day they will invite you. The next day they will ignore you. If your discipline depends on their response, your future will rise and fall with their mood. But when vision governs you, you can say, I love you, but I cannot follow you there. I respect you, but I cannot agree with that. I care about you, but I cannot let your confusion become my calendar. And when you live like this long enough, your life becomes a signpost. You begin to show people what alignment looks like. Not perfection, alignment. You show them what it looks like when a man's time has a master. You show them what it looks like when a woman's gift has a purpose. You show them what it looks like when a family is governed by vision, not reaction. You show them what it looks like when money is assigned, words are measured, appetites are trained, and decisions are filtered through the future God revealed. This is influence. Influence is not noise. Influence is not popularity. Influence is not how many people know your name. Influence is when your alignment gives other people permission to believe discipline is possible. Your life becomes evidence. Your habits become a message. Your consistency becomes a sermon. You may not even know who is watching you, but somebody is learning from your restraint. Somebody is being strengthened by your focus. Somebody is being challenged by your order. Somebody's saying, if God can govern their life like that, maybe He can govern mine. So do not despise the private place. Do not despise the early mornings, the quiet sacrifices, the unseen refusals, the corrected habits, the disciplined choices. They are not small. They are leadership in seed form. God is not wasting your obedience. He is building capacity. He is making you trustworthy for the people your vision is meant to serve. Now, we are coming to the final question. The issue is not whether God has a future. God always has a future. The issue is whether you will agree with it. Not with your mouth only. Not with tears only. Not with excitement only. Will you agree with it through disciplined living? Because the moment you accept God's vision for your future, today receives an assignment and discipline receives a reason. So now choose. This is where teaching must become decision. This is where notes must become obedience. This is where revelation must become a calendar. Because if you leave with information and do not leave with government, then you admire truth but did not submit to it. And truth you admire cannot change you. Truth must be obeyed. Write this down. Purpose births vision. Vision creates restraint. Restraint produces discipline. Discipline develops mastery. Mastery creates value. Value releases influence. That is the chain. Do not break the chain. Purpose births vision, because God never shows you a future that is disconnected from why He made you. Vision creates restraint, because when you see the future clearly, you stop giving yourself to everything. Restraint produces discipline, because saying no long enough begins to train the life. Discipline develops mastery, because repeated obedience in one direction makes you competent. Mastery creates value, because now your gift is not raw, it is refined. And value releases influence, because people are drawn to what solves problems and carries order. This is why the enemy fights vision. He does not only want you immoral, he wants you unclear. He does not only want you sinful, he wants you scattered. He does not only want you tired, he wants you random. Because if he can keep you without vision, he can keep you without restraint. And if he can keep you without restraint, he can keep you without discipline. And if he can keep you without discipline, he can keep you from mastery. And if he can keep you from mastery, he can keep you from becoming valuable in your assignment. And if he can keep you from value, he can limit the influence God intended to release through your life. So I return to where we began. No vision, no discipline. Say it again. No vision, no discipline. But now we must complete it. Clear vision creates disciplined living. Not guilt, not pressure, not emotion, not public excitement. Clear vision creates disciplined living. When the picture is clear, the appetite loses authority. When the future is clear, the present receives boundaries. When purpose is clear, options become easier to judge. When God's tomorrow becomes real in your spirit, today can no longer be wasted like it has no assignment. Some of you have been calling yourself weak, and God is calling you unclear. Some of you have been drowning in shame because you failed again, quit again, promised again, returned again, and you think the answer is more self-hatred. No. Shame is a poor teacher. Shame looks backward. Shame keeps rehearsing what you did, where you fell, who you disappointed, how many times you started and stopped. But vision calls the future forward. Vision says, get up. You are not finished. There is still something in you. There is still a people attached to your obedience. There is still a problem you were born to solve. There is still a future God placed in your spirit. Do not live in shame. Return to vision. Do not make your failure your identity. Return to vision. Do not build a theology around your weakness. Return to vision. The prodigal son did not come home because shame gave him a future. He came to himself. He remembered where he belonged. He remembered there was a house, there was a father, there was a place. Memory awakened direction. And some of you need to come to yourself today. You are not your last failure. You are not your last appetite. You are not your last delay. You are a person carrying purpose, and purpose must now govern your life. For the next 7 days, I want to give you a very simple discipline. 7 days. Before every major decision, ask this question. Does this agree with the future God placed in me? Before you spend the money, ask it. Before you answer the message, ask it. Before you accept the invitation, ask it. Before you speak in anger, ask it. Before you give your body, your time, your energy, your gift, your attention, ask it. Does this agree with the future God placed in me? If it does not agree, then it is an enemy, even if it feels good. If it does agree, then obey it, even if it costs you comfort. Vision must become the government of today, not someday. Today. Today must be a sign. Your morning must be a sign. Your conversation must be a sign. Your study must be a sign. Your money must be a sign. Your rest must be a sign. Even your no must be a sign. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is agreement. Every disciplined decision is you saying, I agree with the future God showed me more than I agree with the appetite that is speaking to me right now. Now say this with me. I am not confused. Say it again. I am not confused. I am not random. I am not governed by appetite. I am governed by God's purpose. Say it until your spirit hears it. I am not confused. I am not random. I am not governed by appetite. I am governed by God's purpose. My time has a master. My gift has an assignment. My body belongs to purpose. My money serves vision. My relationships must agree with destiny. My future will not be negotiated by my feelings. This is the closing charge. Choose the future God showed you and let it govern today. Do not choose it only in worship. Choose it on Monday morning. Do not choose it only with tears. Choose it when temptation calls. Do not choose it only when people are watching. Choose it when nobody knows but God. The moment you accept God's vision for your future, today receives an assignment and discipline receives a reason. And if this message has helped you, do not just keep it as private inspiration. Like it, subscribe, and share it as an act of stewardship. Share it because people do not need more guilt. They have enough guilt. They do not need another voice telling them they are failures. They need God's picture of who they were born to become. They need vision that can lift them out of shame and bring order to their lives. And before you go, write your declaration. Put it where your own eyes can see it. Comment the truth you are choosing to live by. Write, my vision will govern my discipline. Or write your own sentence. I will obey the future God placed in me. My habits will agree with my assignment. I am governed by purpose. Let your words become a witness. Let your confession become a boundary. Let your declaration announce to your own soul, I have seen something, I have heard something, I am carrying something, and from this day forward, my life will agree with God's future.